Welcome to my channel, welcome to today's golf tip. Now, first of all, thank you so much to everyone who's subscribed so far. I post these as often as I possibly can do to ensure we help you pass the best information on for you and your golf game. There is a ton of information out there, as we know, but I hope to bring you the best information that we possibly can do to help you and your game, to give you the feeling you need to feel to make sure you improve your game as well as you possibly can do. Now, it's a big one today. Why? Because this drill is going to really save a huge amount of shots for you around that golf course. Now, if we think about it, we lose our shots mainly when those scores really add up. We can go out there, we can birdie a hole, we can par a hole, we can par a few holes. Even bogeys aren't really costly. Obviously, it depends on what handicap you're on. But even bogeys aren't that costly to us for the average club golfer. It's when those doubles, those triples, and those quads start to add up, those 7s, 8s, 9s on your scorecard. But what's the best way we can really get rid of those? We need to get rid of those because that's the most important thing, to get that scoring down if that is indeed your main goal. And the thing that makes us add up those scores is two real reasons. One, poor ball striking, and two, errant accuracy. In other words, we hit it both left and right, or we hit it one way but really extremely right or extremely left, and we don't know when it's going to creep up. It doesn't feel like we're doing anything different, but it just creeps up. So what a couple of big ways we can avoid those really poor strikes and those really errant golf shots. It's by this. It's more feeling what's happening on the follow through. Okay, so we think to ourselves, a lot of us think, hang on, the follow through, it doesn't really matter, we've already hit the golf ball. Oh my word, it does. Because what happens on the follow through is heavily influenced by what happens back here. So the forces imparted on the golf club and the body happen and really show themselves up when we're on our way through. And the problem we see a lot of golfers in poor contact and errant hitting is they get to impact with a left wrist, for right-handed golfers, with a left wrist that's really quite cupped, or an extension, as we like to say here, okay? So the problem there is the club grounds out before the ball and or not ground out at all. So we tend to either top it, we tend to fatten it, we could catch it out the heel, catch it out the toe. It depends on how well or how not so well we time it when we come into the golf ball like that. And that could be many, many different reasons. I mean, for example, it could happen on the way back because then we've got to correct it on the way through. I've seen great backswings on the way back, but then come into impact like that. There's many different reasons for it. But here's a really surefire way of making sure we can maintain what I'd like to simply call the left wrist angle. That left wrist is nice and flat, or should be nice and flat to begin with, and we need it nice and flat on the way through. So what I want you to be aware of next time you go to the driving range in particular, and on the golf course as well, if you've got time to practice on the golf course, what I want you to try and feel is just do little half swings like this. So no more than pocket back, no more than pocket through, but really feeling like when we come into impact, that left wrist is nice and flat, we hit the ground, and then it's nice and flat when we rotate on the way through. So when we rotate our body to say hello to the target on the way through, that left wrist is still nice and flat. We've maintained those wrist angles here. And then when we get up to the full swing, when we maneuver our way up to the full swing, yes, the wrists have to do some work, yes, but the feeling should still be the same coming into impact. So we're letting the wrists do their work at the top. We really feel like, again, that left wrist is nice and flat at impact. And then on the way through, again, we feel that left wrist is nice and flat on the way through. Because again, if that left wrist is really folded, extended, cupped, we are going to struggle to keep control of that club, and extremely difficult to control where that club is meeting that ground. So nice and easy, but just nice and easy practice swings. Just get a feeling for it. That left wrist is nice and flat on the way back and on the way through. You're almost guaranteed to hit that ball a lot straighter and that club reaching the ground at the same point where it should do when that left wrist is nice and flat. Try it. Let me know how you go. And again, please don't forget, hit that subscribe button. Thank you again if you've already subscribed. If you haven't, please let me keep you updated with all the best information that I can give you on golf swing.